I'm gonna clap. All right. You want to do it?
Yeah.
Speeding. Should we have to clap, don't we?
Do clap.
Yeah.
It's gonna help me. Emily and Simon, BTS. Simon is also rolling. Last check, Noah. Can you see this little stool?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Like my skull sucks because you're dead to me. Some more.
Okay.
Simon, close up, BTS interview, take 1.
Slate 220, take 1. Sorry, Oscar, I'm new. You know, the dogs here look more like dogs.
What the fuck does that even mean?
They just look very doggy, you know? Like, I feel like the dogs in the US kind of look like very laboratory.
Laboratory? I thought you meant labradory. We chose LA and Amsterdam just because of the locations we were in the world at the time. I was already in with the Dutch industry slightly, so I had some connections there and knew how things worked. But also, just like as a visual statement, I'm sure you saw this too in your edits now, is they're so different.
Oh, so different.
Yeah.
It's beautiful in their own way.
Yeah, but one is very hot and dry, the other one is wet and cold, compact, widespread, so they just really work nicely together.
Like a gazelle!
Shooting in LA and Amsterdam was definitely difficult given our budget. And I think in Amsterdam specifically, what was most difficult to me was how true our series was becoming while we were there. Like, Simon threw his keys into a canal on our first prep day, and then I crashed my bike in front of a train because my wheel got stuck in a train line. And Simon and I were so cold and so sick, and we were staying in this hovel. And
Oh, baby, I'm so glad I caught you.
I know. I'm adorable.
So in the Netherlands, there are 4 words for relationships.
And what are they?
Tostadas, quesadilla, tortilla, and fajita.
Ah, okay.
Do you know there are different words for relationships?
What are the words?
Zwarrel, quarrel, prella, and rella.
And what are those words? Sorry, I'm so
okay.
sorry. We have to do that again. Fuck me. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, it was just, it was a rough go.
Yeah, I think Amsterdam was definitely a specific challenge because it was our first block of shooting, so we were sort of figuring it out as we went. We were figuring out how to work together as directors. We were working with actors sometimes, saying lines in a language that we didn't speak, so that was obviously a challenge. We had to place a lot of trust in our actors and in our crew, but we had a fantastic crew and fantastic actors, and so there were a lot of times, it would be cold and rainy and we'd have to bike to the next location, but you sort of have to just give as much trust as you can to your collaborators and be like, I think this is gonna work. You know what? I'm not sure what they said in that take, but it sounded good.
So I was thinking.
Nederlands.
Sorry. So sorry.
But then I have to be like this. It's funny.
Well, we
So
won't
then I-
see
this-
that.
this is
We
normal.
won't see that. So
We
you
don't
can
see
keep
this.
The step up and just don't do that weird thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
keep up
It's
here.
better. It's better to match your
okay,
body.
so then,
Yep.
then I have to work together.
It's terrible. You don't have to laugh.
That is
sorry.
like
Awful.
a really awful
Awful.
joke. I'm so sorry.
Terrible.
Hey, I guess you're not up yet.
I just woke up. I think you're probably asleep by now.
So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you for considering Play It By Ear. For considering Play... Oh no, I think it froze.
Hi everyone. Sorry to interrupt your video. Dylan again from the Karen twins.
In order to get our ideal budget for Play It By Ear, we decided we needed to go the route of crowdfunding. So we created a Seed and Spark campaign, did a lot of outreach to personal or somewhat personal contacts to help promote the series and raise the funds that we needed. And we were very successful. We got 109% of our goal, which was pretty awesome.
Play It By Ear pitch video. Simon, Emily, take 3.
She's smarter than she is organized, though, as evidenced by the spot she's earned in a coveted screenwriting program in a studio in LA. So fucking close. So close. Okay,
Well, so the idea of Play It By Ear was really created between the two of us and Dylan and Brian as well. It started as actually, before we even knew what the story was or what the characters were, it started as the idea that Dylan brought to us of, what if we could shoot something in Los Angeles and in Amsterdam?
Simon wrote a short about these two characters that were struggling to have phone sex because they were long distance. And I was like, oh my gosh, this idea is so good. And I took it and I ramped it up. And then I think we brought it to the boys as a collaborative project.
Oh, keep it going. Like that. Come on. Yes. Oh, yeah. Shit! No, it's just the mom. Hold on. What are you saying? No. Just come on.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like we're in a true crime documentary. So what do you want to know about her? She was found February 18th, 1998, in the middle of the woods. It's quite easy for me to relate to Lucas. I helped write the character. I'm not by trade an actor, so writing somebody who I could relate to just made that experience a lot easier for me. Found you. I fucked my shoe. Obviously, all the sex scenes were probably the most difficult thing I had to do. Particularly the ones where there was no one else involved, just me.
My personal favorite accidental funny moment in that episode would be I was editing the scene where Lucas finally arrives back to his apartment, and he gets off the bike, kind of throws it to the side, and storms in to the vape shop. And one of the takes, I think just Dylan let go of that bike too hard, or was just a little too careless in locking it up. They just see it fall, but like awkwardly falls well after he's run inside. And I just thought that was hilarious. And that's the take I used. And yeah, everyone seemed to like that decision.
Yo.
Yeah. Let me make sure my knees won't hit the shelves here.
Okay, do your best.
My claim to fame in Play It By Ear is I play the very important role of the vape shop owner, the guy who owns the vape shop that Lucas lives underneath. And it was an honor to be on set and have that role.
Cue noise.
Doing a little less arm.
For having 0 lines, it was a little weird getting into that character.
Yeah, and actually put someone else.
I think you'll have to take it out.
And then this piece
Yeah, we need to get.
I think so, yeah.
We'll put the camera on and then we put.
It's going good.
We put
It's going good. It's going good. It's going good.
So guys, how are you doing today?
Doing good.
Oh, that's a surprise.
My fucking boy Dave keeps sending me dick pics. It's like it wasn't funny after the 5th time. I was thinking I should send one back, but I don't. I just feel like there's more cons than pros. Fucking Dave.
Send an angry text, Danny, like texting someone like you're pissed at them.
You're a bad boy, Dave.
The first day went great. We started off at the BU LA offices, mid-Wilshire, downtown, or like mid-city, and we're on the 6th floor, really nice views, windows everywhere. And
I'm stealing this interview.
it went really great. They were so like happy to have us. We had a couple BU students helping us out there. We got through 2 really funny scenes with Mila and Barry, who's an agent who just kind of reads her the riot act, and got out of there, came to our apartment and our rooftop and shot a really awesome rooftop scene. Shot for like an hour and a half up there. It felt like a lot longer because it was very, very cold, but Emily and Dylan were incredibly impressive and bold and persistent up there in their performances, and we got a lot of really good stuff. So I felt great about today. One of our closest collaborators on the series, who wasn't, in the group of the four of us who initially created the show and created the ideas and characters, was our collaboration with Ingrid Sanchez, our cinematographer. And we were so lucky because when we were searching for someone to shoot the series, we didn't think we would be able to find one cinematographer to shoot both halves of the series. But when we met Ingrid, she told us how she was living the experience of being in a long distance relationship split between Los Angeles and Amsterdam. And we couldn't believe the serendipity of that, finding a collaborator who was living the exact story that we were trying to tell. And that, plus the fact that she was an incredibly talented and well-trained cinematographer with a great eye for visuals, it made that collaboration so much easier for the duration of the series. She really became a member of our team that we could talk to about the story, we could talk to about the emotion, and we knew that she was as plugged into those elements of the show as she was to the shots, the lighting, the motion of the camera, all of those technical pieces. And that was a huge help.
Hi, babe.
Hey.
You look gorgeous.
Thanks.
So, is this a date? I'm sorry. I just, yeah, it's a date. Why? Is that your strap?
No,
No, I'm joking. We're currently on a set location. We're at Ridley's apartment, and that has a fun story as well. We were just talking about the serendipity of, we were supposed to give the property manager this note to tell them we were shooting illegally, and we forgot, which we, honest to God, did. But I think it was karmically the world wanted us to shoot that scene or something, because the property manager came and was like, you can't shoot here. And we were really scared we were going to get kicked out, but we didn't. So sweet.
Does the rain feel like unnatural to you? Does it feel like too like?
Yeah, it feels a little weird.
I think maybe just lean with your.
So, Bonnie, what was it like to be on the set of Play It By
It
Ear?
was honestly a really fun experience. I was actually hired to be an extra, but then I kind of weaseled my way into the art department, and yeah, the people have been great. Chill vibes all around, and yeah.
Can we get a quiet on set, please?
Definitely.
How's it going? How's it going?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't ask the question. I just thought that you were just shooting at me, and it's going really well.
Yeah?
Yes, I'm just a little bit sad that they didn't allow me just to be part of the scene.
Oh, such a cool
Your
scene.
cue is when Mila says Sam.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing great. Cheers, baby.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Play it by ear, LA unit.
No, like right now.
Oh, I'm going to give Sammy a drink, and then we're going to have a heart-to-heart. But I don't know that yet. So.
We won't tell anyone.
All right, down to you, quick.
Not me. So.
Got a rehearsal.
When we wrote the series, we didn't want to write Sammy as, the gay best friend. We really didn't want that to be we didn't want them to have some kind of moniker or stereotypical presentation. And in doing that, I think that their character development and their anger towards Mila is much more nuanced.
Feeling full, feeling so excited to just eat this food for another 2 hours.
How long we continue to eat the food for?
It is indeed too far. I better go grade by grade then.
Well, it was a joy to play the wonderful Sammy. Coincidentally, I actually feel like I connected pretty easily to the character. I feel like a lot of the things that they wrote that they would say, I too actually say in my own life. And it was very nice to be the friend who was like very supportive, but also was like, girl, you need to get your shit together sometimes. That was it. Oh, hey Mila. Glad to see you weren't murdered.
Oh, Sammy, hey, you remember Ridley, right?
Yeah, hey, how are you?
Fine. I'll be right back. Hey, I didn't...
Catching up with your favorite gal pal? You didn't even get me a shot, did you?
No, I'm sorry.
And I'm sober. No.
That's the last scene that we see Sammy in. And I think that because they walk out, because they leave on this low, it lets our audience question, did they repair their relationship? Are they able to? Is there even, how can they salvage this? How can that trust be restored between them? And I think too, in Mila's dealings with Ridley, she blows through people like she blew through Sammy. And I think that if we were writing a season 2, that would be something that I think she would have to reconcile. I think she would have to come to terms with that.
Hey, catching up with your favorite gal pal?
While in LA, part of my role on set was to do the continuity reports. For the most part, it's pretty straightforward stuff.
I'm witch, bitch.
Just, writing notes on what's good, what's the best take, what's a bad take, any resets. But when I have to write out the lines that we start from for my own benefit, that I have to write extremely fast, and my handwriting's already terrible. So it looks like hieroglyphics at some points. But at least I can read it, so there's that. And I'm the one who needs them, because I'm editing, so. It's also technically our first time editing together, like back and forth. We did a little bit of dilettantes, but that was more you and Simon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's fun.
I will say I am looking forward to when I don't have to do so many things.
Me too.
Yeah, when we don't have to wear so many hats. Videotaping?
Yeah. Well, I'm flaccid.
When you're making a low budget independent project, there's always a little bit of apprehension about asking people to come aboard and buy into the vision that you have and invest all of their time and effort and brain power in something that maybe isn't going to pay them so well and doesn't necessarily have a guarantee of distribution or of a huge audience. And we were so lucky to have many collaborators who just fully dove in with us. One was our producer, Virginia Blatter, who, again, we had initially planned on just bringing on for one section of shooting, and then she ended up traveling to Amsterdam with us. And she was doing everything from finalizing rental quotes and managing budget to literally making like chocolate sandwiches for the crew that could keep us going with a little bit of sugar.
I hated the days you cooked.
I didn't cook shit.
Careful, runner. Careful left side.
What's your favorite scene of the show? This is a rough one. Okay, so I really like the rooftop in LA, but I also I was to see and how it was filmed. It was beautiful, but it was fucking freezing. I did really enjoy the biking day in Amsterdam because it was so nice to just drive and film it while driving.
Jump in that.
Roll this bitch.
Huh?
And this is take 4. My name is Timo, and I filmed some of the biking scenes in Amsterdam.
Honestly, a static wide of you just zooming through. So like close up of your face, static wide of you zooming through, back to close up, and then it's like, oh shit, he's falling. Oh, into the circle.
It was a very fun shoot to do. What we did was we rented a bakfiets or cargo bike, which is basically a bicycle with a big box on the front where I could sit in. And then we filmed the shots on a gimbal. It's basically a Dutch version of a Russian arm. We did the shoot in Vondelpark on a very cold day. And some of the shots were actually pretty tricky to do because I had to hang out of the bike for a long time. But in the end, I think it's totally worth it.
I don't know how it looked, my adrenaline is like, dude. Yeah, rolling.
Go for it. One more, my hand keeps going in. Come on!
Here, let's put the green all the way down here. Rolling?
Yep.
All right, go for it, Jill.
There were a lot of moments in the show where we knew we had to have the camera in motion in some way because characters were on bikes or they were rollerblading or they were jogging. And that was a challenge because we didn't have cranes and dollies and sort of big budget solutions like that. I think we got really creative and did some great strategies in a lot of the scenes to accomplish these effects. In episode 4, when Mila and Ridley are roller skating, the way that we figured out how to shoot those scenes was by putting our DP Ingrid in a wheelchair with a giant camera and having us take turns pushing her around and following Emily as she's roller skating around this playground. And it looked great, but god damn, it was tiring.
Playing on the playground.
Okay, is that in the script?
No. Yes.
Oh, did you get a different?
Wrong script then.
It's an add-on. It's rewrite.
What are you doing here?
Waiting to talk about.
Show us your Yay!
Little bladey moves.
Scenes in episode 4 that I had a blast editing was the roller skating scene with Mila and Ridley, making the little fun disco-y montage of Mila just going hard on the skates and then cutting abruptly to Ridley just struggling and looking like an amateur out there. It was just funny. I had a lot of fun putting that together.
Reset. We can see us. We're in the shot. Man, other side. Right here.
You'll be in the shot there too.
Something that I think surprised us within post-production coming out of the shooting process was really Ridley's arc. I think we both, as writers, we wrote her in as someone who was a little colder, a little more aloof, and perhaps even a little less engaged. And our actress, Elise Martin, she did a fantastic job, and she really rounded out this character in such a beautiful way so that you see throughout the course of Ridley's arc this heartbreak.
Elise, just make sure you're looking a little high at him, just, try to keep your face up a little bit. Great.
Today we're shooting the roller skating scene.
Oh yeah,
And it's my first time, so I'm really nervous and excited. The hardest part is just moving to each new location that we're filming because I'm on my skates the whole time, and so I need someone to help me at all times. The scene I liked shooting the most for episode 4 as Mila, and I think gives the most depth into her character, is the scene where she's rollerblading with Ridley. This moment is quiet for Mila in a way because she has this freedom. She has this essence of herself that she feels like recently she is kind of lost. Mila is a young, ambitious woman who has just graduated college, has her whole career life ahead of her and her whole adult life ahead of her.
Is it warm or cold? Cold.
That can be a bit intimidating. So she seeks control in ways that are often detrimental and self-destructive to her, picking apart her appearance, picking apart her weight, picking apart her relationship. Her ambition is to be an independent person, but her comfort is being within a relationship. And I think that those dueling interests, finding a negotiation between those two is ultimately her arc.
Okay, what I do? Which way when you get on feels more natural for you to ride? Okay. Yeah. like a little bit before the have your front foot up in the air. Just try that. There we go. Yeah. So you can see.
Tony Hawk!
Yeah. It looks silly, but like a good way to practice is by kind of doing like.
Do it once as a couple.
So the project did change over the course of us making it, for sure. In the initial draft of the script, I remember we had less depth to Lucas and Mila, truly. It was written more like a series of short films. And what we see now is a continuous series. I think that was largely brought about in these moments that we let sit with our characters, such as bringing in Lucas's father. Simon wrote that scene.
You just did one last time, right?
I did two.
Oh, okay, we only saw one. So yeah, do two again.
Yep.
Okay. Hold. And action.
Lucas's father is played by Dylan's real life uncle, who was not a professional actor and actually had never acted in anything before to our knowledge. And so we came into that scene very aware of, okay, if he's having trouble or if he's not getting it, we need to be prepared to work with him and be really encouraging and be really gentle to pull what we need out of him, because he might not have this experience and he may not feel comfortable acting and being in front of camera. And then as soon as we turned the camera on, his eyes lit up and he was the most caring, fatherly, wise, reassuring presence. He was exactly what we had written down without us having to really tell him much of anything. He just said the lines and it was perfectly what we were looking for. And we all sort of turned to each other and went, wow, that was a lot easier than we thought it would be.
Why don't we just do some energetic warm-ups and then read episode 5 once? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
I helped out with a bunch of other things because I was the only one in Amsterdam, but my main focus was just figuring out how to act. We rehearsed entirely over Zoom for a year ahead of time, and I think some of the most memorable days over Zoom was when I would put the computer in the corner of the room and then I would use the entire room as my stage and walk around and act things out.
Put that in the recording, and that's a nice behind the scenes little story right there. All right, I'm gonna go to a place that's ridiculous. It's not the full performance, but let's see if there's anything that we can take from it.
Wonderful.
All right.
Got your backpack, nice. Yeah, really fucking Kramer it. Just come in boom.
Yeah. Oh fuck! My glasses fell out.
I want you to knock something over.
A little less intense.
Okay.
I would say it looks like
I'm about to.
you're about to get
Alright, Dylan. Show exactly the same, even more.
Slate 75, take 2.
You're on the top of a mountain and it's very cold and scary.
Rolling. Pack it up for us. Thanks, Captain Mike.
Back it up. Back it up.
I've kind of always thought that the dream sequence in the opening of episode 3 meant that it's not that he wants Mila to be Dutch. It's more like he just wants to be with her. But it might be what his ideas are a little too much or a little overboard, and he just wants her. He doesn't want more than just her.
One scene that really stood out to me in episode 3 was the boat scene at the beginning of the episode. Again, it's the only time that we're not in the real world. And so because of that, we got to really have fun with the lights, the camera angles, the music that we used. And also the fact that it was on a boat, we got this really nice, dreamy sort of rocking and wobbling back and forth that I just think visually it's a great scene. It's very unique to the piece as a whole. And also the process of shooting it was just so surreal because it was a pretty small boat. So we were all packed in, about 12 or 15 of us, very tightly into this small boat. But seeing the lit up canals of Amsterdam at night and seeing our two main characters dressed up so beautifully and looking so gorgeous and looking so in love with each other, but then also getting to shoot this like weird nightmare-y David Lynchy thing where the boat is sinking and Lucas is having a panic attack and Mila's speaking Dutch. It was just a very wild and fun scene to shoot.
Slate 71, 73, take 1.
All right.
All right, guys, let's get quiet.
What's my third line?
Ik versta je.
I don't speak Dutch, and you're probably wondering, how did you make this series that's a quarter basically in Dutch? And you would be right to wonder that. I'm still not sure. But that specific scene, the boat scene where Mila says, I don't even know what she says. Well, take that back.
Kiss? You guys kiss?
We can, but you need to prepare us beforehand.
Okay, I am Abigail Johnston. I am first AD for Play It By Ear Los Angeles. Yeah, set's been great. We're running on time, which is always something that makes me happy. Stereotypically, I suppose. Yeah, no, it's been awesome. This is my first set since moving back out to LA, so it's been absolutely wonderful to be back. I've made a lot of great friends and connections through it, and I am very happy to be here. And yeah, thanks for having me.
I kind of like a little more
Like here?
distance.
Okay,
Yeah.
Like 217.
It's more the hands on the hips. It
Like
wasn't
two?
so much of the distance.
What's it like doing sound for Play It By Ear?
Oh, it's really easy. Honestly, we've been getting so much good sound for the past week. Yeah, it's very simple shoot. Everyone's great. The directors are absolutely wonderful, and they understand to take the time and focus on everything, including sound, which is much appreciated. We have time. Every time I ask for a couple minutes to set up, always given to me.
So for probably most of the storyboarding and writing process of Play It By Ear, we always had like this, I don't even remember what the original name was. It might not have been one. It might have just been a long distance show.
Yeah.
Or smoke
No,
signals
couples
or something.
or something like- yeah, just couples, like something.
Yeah. And then we had this ongoing theme of Van Gogh. You know, Mila and Lucas had that connection. We had this idea of them going to the Van Gogh Museum before we even locked that location down. And Mila has like Van Gogh art in her apartment. So I just thought, well, he cut off his ear. The whole point of going long distance is seeing how it goes. You know, you go like one day at a time, so play it by ear.
I mean, that was just a real long shot for Amsterdam. So we sent them an email, told them a bit about the story, and they let us come in there for free, like an hour and a half before they opened to just do our shoot. Originally, we were kind of like, oh man, how many people can we take in there? Because you don't want it to make it look like just the characters there. But then it becomes sort of dreamy, so it worked. And obviously, we weren't going to say no to shooting the Van Gogh Museum.
I was pissed I wasn't allowed in.
Yeah.
I had to like guard the snacks outside.
Yeah.
You're gonna call it.
Why Van Gogh? We chose Van Gogh as our muse artist, mostly because Simon and I reconnected after a long period apart in Amsterdam. And one of the first days that we really felt like we got back into our couples groove was when we went to the Van Gogh Museum. And for us, that museum, that day at the museum, I just remember so vividly as something magical. It was a togetherness. And I think as an artist also, we really stuck with this idea of Van Gogh as someone who was seeking release, someone who is seeking truth through art, someone who worked their whole lives to be a person that they were never respected as within their life. And I think as artists just beginning their careers, we really resonate with that. It's the long road, it's the long path, and who knows where it will take us.
That's a wrap on
One of the most rewarding things about making Play It By Ear was just how many people we heard from when we would talk about the project who would immediately go, oh, I had the same experience. I lived here for 5 years and my partner was in another country, and we would call every other day. And when we would tell people about the project, they were so ready to open up with their own stories, and oftentimes so glad to hear that we were trying to tell some version of this very strange and modern, but also very common phenomenon of being in the most intimate possible relationship with someone that you almost never share a physical space with. And I was so shocked. There were even more people who've had that experience now than I even knew going into the process.
We're Mila.
when we cut that final scene, it kind of felt like nobody really understood that immediately. Like Simon yells cut, and I have a video of it. I yell like, "Woo, we did it!" And nobody else responded, which made me think, "Are we not done?" But then all of a sudden, Simon goes like, "Yeah," or something like that. He's like, he reciprocates, and then everyone just starts freaking out and yelling. We're jumping out. We're taking pictures. We're celebrating one, and it just probably took a while because it's like, well, it's 3 years in the making, and we finally finished this. Like, we did not think that this was ever going to happen. Just anything with a long project, you never think you see the end. So it was a really fun day, a really fun night. And it's just a crazy feeling, just finally being done after all these months and years of planning.
For the 19th annual Oscar qualifying Holly Shorts Film Festival, I'm Haley Royal, your host, and my co-host Bree is here with me this time. Hi, Bree.
Hi, yes,
Welcome.
I'm Brianna Wing. Thank you. And in this episode, we have Simon Kincaid, the writer, director, and producer of Play It By Ear, as well as Emily Ann Zisco, writer, director, and actor of Play It By Ear. Welcome, guys.
Thank you
for
guys
coming
so
on
much
the
for
show.
having
Of course, we're happy to be here. Ultimately, this process was so gratifying and so exhausting, and we really do feel like we got to tell a complete story, and that was so satisfying. Obviously, there are loose ends for both Mila and Lucas, but we think there's something more true about leaving some things unresolved, and I think if we were to look ahead into the future, we'd want to tell another version of the story that asks a lot of these same questions, but from a different angle with different people, because these are questions that are never going to be answered.
Just coming at that from all perspectives, not taking it too seriously, letting the sexy lead in with the funny, lead in with the sad, and that's life. That's life.
I'm very happy that we were able to make a transatlantic miniseries. As like an independent production company, for $55K, we were able to make something that takes place on opposite ends of the world.
Yeah, cool name like the Brat Pack.
Yeah.
What's gonna be our name? I don't know.
We have to-
The Fat Pack.
No, no, none of us are fat. That can't work.
No, FAP, FAP.
Oh, FAP Zone, the Fat Pack. That's whole.
The FAP Zone.
That's perfect. That's great.
Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm done. Thank you, Dom.
It's all too much.
the scenes content, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on social media. Thank you.
Another rainy day. Well, what do you want to watch?